Hey guys, welcome back to Say Mojo Homestead. We recently picked a bunch of peppers off of our pepper plants and we've been dehydrating them. I have heard a lot of people asking about dehydrators and if they're worth it, what ones to get, all the things. So I thought that while we are dehydrating peppers, this would be a great time to kind of talk about our dehydrator, what kind we have, why we chose it, what we like about it, and what we might think about the next time we get one. It is called the Presto Dehydro. It's seriously nothing fancy, but I really have enjoyed having it, and I actually don't mind how basic it is. I will say we have had this dehydrator. We got it off of Amazon or at Walmart or something. It's very basic dehydrator. We can't change the temperature setting or anything or the duration or anything like that. You just literally plug it in and dehydrates. We've had this dehydrator for several years. We've used it every single year and I really like it. I don't really care that it doesn't have a temperature setting. We're not doing meat. I don't know if that would even matter. I've never even looked into like making beef jerky. I do know my grandma used to make beef jerky and sometimes I think she even made turkey jerky once. But anyway, and she used just a very basic dehydrator. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely research that. As far as like dehydrating produce, we've done apples and we've done lots of veggies. I've been very pleased with it. I really liked the way that it dehydrates. The one thing I will say, and this might be common for dehydrators, but there isn't a ton of space. So these are kind of small peppers, and to dehydrate them, these ones work fine. But if you want to do like a whole bell, which I wouldn't, but if you want something larger or thicker, this might not work just because of the way the trays stack. The reason why I chose this dehydrator when I was looking at dehydrators was because this is like the thing that was the most important to me. And it continues to be the thing I go back to mentally, is you can get on Amazon or even at I saw they had them at Home Depot and Target. You can get additional trays. So it comes with like 4 trays, and then it's really easy to find more trays if you want more. And I was recently thinking about this because with everything we're getting in now, I think it would be beneficial to have a few more trays. The other thing that I am definitely looking into getting now, that we haven't needed, but I did look at before we bought, is that this actual dehydrator comes with trays for fruit leather. I've always kind of wanted to make my own fruit leathers, but didn't ever have the fruit or just didn't have the time or whatever. But then when I was looking into dehydrators, I knew that was something down the road I would like to have the option to do. So I went ahead and looked at that when I was looking at getting a dehydrator. This does come with trays. When we first looked at getting a dehydrator, what they offered were silicone liners that you could put inside the tray to make your fruit leathers or whatever. I don't know, but I think based on the quick scan I did, they had actual trays that you can use for fruit leather. I think I still would prefer the inserts, just because I think it would be easier to store and easier to clean, and we wouldn't need those trays all the time. I just feel like now that we're getting a lot of fruit in, it's much more and we have a lot more fruit trees and berry bushes and stuff. Like, I feel like we are going to have that season next year where we can maybe start doing more of that kind of stuff. And with all the pears that we got in, had I been prepared for that, I think it would have been nice, like looking back, to have been able to make some pear leather. I was talking to a friend a couple weeks ago about how, with finances, when you're first starting out, you can't spend the money to get all the nice fancy things. And she was saying, I think she actually found her dehydrator at like a Goodwill or something and paid $20 for it. I think that's even the dehydrator she still uses. So you don't need to have anything fancy to get the job done. We do have a dehydration setting on our stove, but our stove is gas, and I'd rather just use this and not use the whole stove to dehydrate. I can just use something smaller and get the job done really well. The one thing I will say is when things heat up, that they lose some nutritional value. That's the case when you dehydrate. But for us, it has been a great way to preserve our peppers. That's primarily what we've done in it, is peppers. We really like to dehydrate our peppers and then blend them up in our Vitamix. You can do it in a blender, food processor, whatever. And then we make our own spice blends, our own chili powder, that kind of thing. And it's really nice to have our own seasonings through the winter for our food. It does take a little while longer than I anticipated to dehydrate. That might just be normal. This is the only dehydrator I've had. It also might be because we forget about it. So they're left on longer than they have to be left on. But I do remember we have done apple slices, and I think those took a couple of days to really get to the point where they were really well dehydrated. So just keep that in mind when you are dehydrating, that it does take a little bit longer. And the one thing I have found, and this is probably common for all dehydrators, but that they dehydrate better if you have space around them, which does limit how much you get on a tray. But again, for just a few dollars, you can add another tray or another several trays. So I think it's like $15 for 3 more trays. This is a brand that's been around a long time that has continued to have replacement trays or additional trays available. So I know that I can confidently buy this product and be able to get trays that fit it if I need it in the future. The other thing I will say is that I personally prefer not having a digital dehydrator, because the thought of having a digital dehydrator kind of makes me concerned in that if I'm going to invest in something, in an appliance that is digital, I kind of always have the concern that what if the computer goes out, or I just feel like there's more risk of it not lasting as long for a digital product. So I prefer, like if I were to have to buy this again, I probably wouldn't get the digital one. They still have this dehydrator available on Amazon, and you can actually get it at Walmart. I did do a quick search just so I could let people know, but it's about $50 to get this dehydrator with the 4 trays that it comes with. So it's not super pricey, and it does a great job, and it lasts a really long time. So that's all I have. I just wanted to share with you dehydration and the one we use. A lot of people I've seen on social media are asking if people think that dehydrators are worth their money. I personally think they are. If you want to preserve your food and you don't want to can it, removing that moisture and putting it in a jar with an oxygen absorber is a great option for preserving your harvest. And also it just is a really easy way to make additional spices or blends for your food. If you are thinking about getting a dehydrator, I definitely would recommend this. I would buy it again. I probably will buy it again if something ever goes out on this. It's economical, it's easy to use. It comes with replacement trays. It comes with other things that you can get, like the silicone trays. I think it's a great economical option for anyone looking for a dehydrator. I hope you guys are having a great week, and be blessed.